If you feel like you're failing in life, let me tell you something most people are too scared to say out loud. You're not broken, you're just early. Nobody warns you about this phase. Nobody tells you that life has a silent test where nothing works. No one claps for you, and every effort feels useless. You wake up tired, not because you didn't sleep, but because you're carrying disappointment, self-doubt, and unanswered prayers. And the worst part, you start believing that maybe the problem is you. But here's the truth no one tells you. Failure is not proof that you're useless, it's proof that you're still in the game. The people who quit never feel this pain because they stop trying. This heaviness you feel, it's the weight of potential that hasn't found its direction yet. You see others winning, smiling, posting their success, while you're stuck fighting battles in silence. And slowly, comparison poisons your confidence. You begin to question your worth, your choices, even your existence. Life doesn't break people all at once. It breaks them slowly. Missed chances, small rejections. One bad year turning into many, and no one tells you that sometimes you can do everything right and still lose. That doesn't mean you're a failure. It means you're human. Growth is messy, lonely, and unfair. Movies lie to you. Social media lies to you. Success is never a straight line. It's a dark tunnel where you walk alone, not knowing if there's light ahead. Here's another truth they won't tell you. Your struggle is shaping you in ways comfort never could. Right now, while you feel lost, life is teaching you discipline, patience, and resilience. Skills you can't Google, strength you can't buy, character you can't fake. The pain you're in today is building the backbone you'll need tomorrow. And yes, it hurts because transformation is violent. Old versions of you are dying. You don't need motivation. You need honesty. You don't need to feel ready. You need to move anyway, because confidence doesn't come before action, it comes from action. One small step taken consistently beats 1,000 perfect plans never started. Stop waiting for a sign. This discomfort is the sign. So if you're failing right now, listen carefully. This is not the end of your story. This is the chapter where most people quit, and the chapter that decides who you become. Stay, fight, learn, adjust. Because one day you'll look back at this version of yourself and realize this was the moment you were being built, not destroyed. If you feel like everything is falling apart in your life, I want you to pause for a moment and take a deep breath. Because the truth I'm about to share with you is something almost no one says out loud. Life has a way of hiding its most important lessons behind pain, confusion, and failure. And if you're failing right now, it doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't even mean you're lost forever. It just means that the universe is preparing you for something bigger, something you cannot even imagine yet. I know it feels lonely. I know it feels like everyone around you has it all figured out while you are stuck in a storm, unsure of which way to turn. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you're struggling financially. Maybe relationships in your life feel empty or painful. Maybe every step forward seems to pull you 2 steps back. And the most dangerous thing is that during these moments, your mind starts whispering lies. Maybe you're not enough. Maybe you're failing because you're not smart enough, talented enough, or lucky enough. But here's the truth no one tells you. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before he invented the light bulb. Imagine the weight of that many failures. Imagine standing in a dark workshop night after night, testing, breaking, and trying again. And yet, he didn't stop. He didn't let the failures define him. He let them teach him. He saw each failure not as a defeat, but as a clue, a step closer to the answer. And that's the mindset you need to adopt right now. Your failures are not final. They are instructions. Take J.K. Rowling, for example. The woman who wrote the Harry Potter series faced rejection after rejection. Publishers told her story would never work. She was a single mother struggling to make ends meet. Life seemed to be telling her no at every turn. But she didn't quit, she wrote. She persisted. She failed, and then she succeeded in a way that no one could have predicted. If she had listened to the voices telling her she wasn't enough, the world would have missed out on one of the most inspiring stories ever written. Now, I want you to think about your own failures differently. Right now, it might feel like a dead end, but in reality, you're in the middle of a story that's still being written. The problem is, most people give up too soon. They stop walking in the dark tunnel because they can't see the light. They quit before the breakthrough. They abandon the dream because the journey hurts too much. And it's exactly this stage, where everything seems impossible, that determines who rises and who fades away. Here's a simple truth. Every failure has a hidden lesson, a skill, or a strength embedded within it. When you lose, you learn. When you fall, you grow. When doors close, you develop resilience you could never have learned in comfort. Look at Steve Jobs. Fired from the company he founded, everyone would have understood if he gave up. Most people would have. But Jobs didn't. He used that failure to start Apple again, to create Pixar, to innovate in ways that changed the world. The pain of being fired was unbearable, yes, but it became the fuel for his comeback. And it's not just about famous people. Think about everyday heroes around you. The single parent working 2 jobs, the small business owner trying to make it in a competitive market, the student struggling to pass exams. These people fail daily, but they persist. They get up again, and again. They may not be recognized in magazines or social media posts, but their lives are proof that failure is temporary if you refuse to give in. Here's where most people go wrong. They attach their identity to their failure. They say, "I failed, therefore I am a failure." That is the lie. You are not your mistakes. You are not your setbacks. You are the person who has the courage to keep moving, even when everything inside you wants to stop. You are the person who still dreams, even when the world tells you it's impossible. That courage, that willingness to continue, is the difference between someone who fails and someone who ultimately succeeds. Let me give you a real-life story that might hit closer to home. There was a young man named Marcus working a dead-end job in a small town. Every day he felt invisible, unimportant, like he was going nowhere. He tried starting businesses, changing careers, learning new skills, but everything seemed to fail. Friends told him to settle, family questioned him. He felt like the universe had given up on him. But Marcus didn't quit. He kept learning, kept experimenting, and kept failing. One day, a small idea he had been developing for years finally took off. Now, he runs a business that not only supports his family, but impacts hundreds of people every day. If he had stopped at the 1st or 5th or 50th failure, none of that would exist. So here's the truth you need to hear. Your failure is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a chapter that shapes your strength, your vision, and your destiny. Every time you feel like quitting, remember that those feelings are temporary. The lessons, the resilience, the growth, those are permanent. And here's the actionable part you can start doing today. When something goes wrong, don't just mourn it. Ask yourself, what did I learn? How can I use this? How can I adjust my approach and try again? Make failure your teacher, not your enemy. Surround yourself with people who lift you, who challenge you, who remind you that setbacks are temporary. Celebrate small wins, even if the world ignores them, because every small step forward is proof that you are moving in the right direction. Now that you understand that failure is not the end, the next step is realizing why we fail in the first place, and it's not always because of lack of talent, luck, or effort. Most failures happen because of fear. Fear of trying, fear of looking foolish, fear of rejection, fear of what people will think. Fear is quiet, but it's deadly. It whispers in your ear every day, slowing your steps, keeping you small, and convincing you that giving up is easier than continuing. Think about Michael Jordan, often called the greatest basketball player of all time. But did you know he was cut from his high school basketball team? Imagine being a teenager with dreams of greatness, only to be told you're not good enough. Most would have quit. Most would have turned away from the game forever. But Jordan didn't. That rejection didn't stop him, it motivated him. Every practice, every shot, every failure on the court became fuel. He transformed fear into determination. And today, millions of people see his legacy as proof that failure is just a stepping stone when you refuse to quit. Fear doesn't only show up in sports or big dreams, it's in everyday life too. Maybe you're afraid to apply for a new job because you think you'll fail. Maybe you're afraid to start your own business because it seems risky. Maybe you're afraid to express your creativity or your ideas because someone might judge you. That fear is lying to you. It's keeping you stuck in a place that feels safe but is actually killing your potential. Here's the truth no one tells you. You must embrace fear to grow. Fear is not your enemy, it's a signal. It tells you where growth is happening. The moment you feel fear, that's the exact place where you should take action. Every time you push through fear, you build courage. Every time you fail while trying something new, you build resilience. And resilience is the most important skill in life. Take Oprah Winfrey as another example. She faced unimaginable challenges early in life: poverty, abuse, and rejection. She was told she was unfit for television, but instead of letting fear or rejection stop her, she kept moving forward. She embraced every no as a redirection, every obstacle as a lesson, and slowly, consistently built her path to success. Today, she is one of the most influential people on the planet. Her story shows that failure is not a verdict, it's a teacher, a motivator, and a test of endurance. Now let's talk about resilience, because knowing failure is temporary is not enough if you can't recover from it. Resilience is the muscle you develop when you refuse to give up, even when life feels heavy. It's what keeps you getting out of bed, keeps you sending the applications, keeps you practicing, keeps you trying, keeps you believing in yourself when everyone else doubts you. And the best part, anyone can develop it. You don't need to be born with courage. You build it step by step through action. Think about Elon Musk. Many people only see his successes, Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, but they don't see the countless failures he endured. Rockets exploded. Businesses almost went bankrupt. Investors doubted him. Media mocked him. Musk could have given up at any point, but his resilience was stronger than fear. He learned from failure, adjusted his approach, and pushed forward. Today, he's transforming multiple industries because he refused to quit when the world was saying no. You might be thinking, okay, that's all inspiring, but how do I apply it to my life? That's where the actionable part comes in. You need a system, a way to turn failure into progress. Here's what you can do. Analyze your failure calmly. Don't blame yourself or anyone else. Ask, what went wrong? What can I control next time? Reflection is powerful. It transforms disappointment into strategy. Take small, consistent actions. You don't have to solve everything at once. Every small step is progress. Write one paragraph, make one call, practice one skill, reach out to one person. Small wins, build momentum. Shift your mindset. Stop saying I failed and start saying I learned. Stop seeing obstacles as walls and start seeing them as challenges to solve. Language changes everything. Surround yourself with positivity. People who lift you, inspire you, and challenge you to grow will push you forward. Toxicity slows you down. Protect your energy. Keep a vision of your goal. When failure knocks you down, remind yourself why you started. Visualize the life you want, the impact you want to make, and the person you are becoming. Let me tell you about Sarah, a young woman who wanted to become a graphic designer. She applied to hundreds of jobs only to receive rejection after rejection. Every no chipped away at her confidence. But instead of giving up, she decided to improve her skills, create her own portfolio, and reach out to people directly. After months of persistence, she landed her first big client. Today, she runs a small design agency and mentors other young designers. Sarah's story is a reminder that failure is only temporary if you refuse to quit, learn, and take action. And here's another secret most people never talk about. The longer you stay in your struggle, the stronger your success becomes. People want instant results, but life doesn't work that way. True transformation requires endurance. The lessons you learn in pain, rejection, and uncertainty are the same lessons that will make your future unshakable. The stronger the struggle, the more powerful the victory. So, right now, I want you to do something simple but profound. Embrace your failure. Stop running from it. Stop hating it. Stop fearing it. Look at it, analyze it, learn from it, and move forward. Failure is not your enemy, it's your teacher, your guide, and the path to your greatest potential. Every person you admire, every success story you see was once in your shoes. They felt the same fear, the same pain, the same doubts. The difference is that they acted despite it. Your journey is no different. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is action. Not perfection, not luck, not talent. Action. The willingness to rise every time life knocks you down. The willingness to learn from every mistake. The willingness to believe in yourself even when no one else does. And one final truth for this part, failure is a gift disguised as pain. The world doesn't hand out success without struggle. The universe doesn't give you breakthroughs without effort. And your life will not transform until you embrace the discomfort, walk through the fear, and persist when quitting seems easiest. This is the moment where your story is being written, and your response today will determine the chapters to come. By now, you understand that failure is not the end, and that resilience is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. But here's the next truth. Failure is not just a teacher, it's an opportunity disguised as struggle. Every time life knocks you down, it's giving you a chance to see things differently, to improve, and to create something better than what you had before. The people who succeed don't just survive failure, they use it as a springboard. Let's take Walt Disney, for example. He was fired from a newspaper because he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. Can you imagine being told that your creativity is worthless? Most people would have quit, but Disney didn't. He used that rejection to fuel his dream. He created Mickey Mouse, built Disneyland, and transformed entertainment forever. That rejection wasn't the end, it was the beginning. And that's the secret. Your failure may be pointing you toward a better path you never considered. The same principle applies to everyday life. Maybe you lost a job. Maybe a relationship ended. Maybe you failed in school or business. At first, it feels like the world is collapsing. But often that loss pushes you to do things you never would have tried otherwise. It forces you to grow, to explore, and to uncover your hidden potential. The pain is temporary, but the lessons last a lifetime. Here's a real-life story you might relate to. There's a man named David who dreamed of being a professional chef. He spent years training, but when he applied to top restaurants, he was constantly rejected. For a while, he felt hopeless, but instead of giving up, he decided to start a small food blog, sharing his recipes and cooking tips online. Over time, people loved his content, and eventually he was invited to host his own cooking show. What felt like failure at first turned into a completely new and unexpected opportunity, one that might not have existed if he had achieved his original goal immediately. This is why mindset is everything. If you see failure as a dead end, you'll always feel defeated. But if you see it as a guide, you'll start looking for doors instead of walls. Ask yourself, what is this failure showing me? How can I turn this into a lesson, an opportunity, or a new path? That shift in perspective changes everything. Suddenly, setbacks are no longer threats, they are invitations to grow stronger, smarter, and more prepared for what's next. Now, let's talk about purpose. Many people fail because they're chasing what others expect, what society says is success, or what seems convenient. But real fulfillment comes from pursuing something meaningful to you. When your purpose is clear, failure loses its power. Why? Because purpose gives you direction, resilience, and motivation, even when everything seems to go wrong. Take Malala Yousafzai, for example. She faced extreme danger just for wanting to go to school. Her journey was filled with obstacles and threats that would have stopped most people. But her purpose to fight for education for girls gave her strength. Even after surviving an assassination attempt, she didn't quit. She turned her struggle into advocacy, eventually winning the Nobel Peace Prize. Failure, danger, and rejection became fuel for her mission because her purpose was bigger than the pain. You can find purpose in small ways too. Maybe it's creating something that helps people, supporting your family, or mastering a skill that excites you. Purpose doesn't have to be world-changing immediately. What matters is that it's yours, and it gives you a reason to persist when failure hits. The clearer your purpose, the easier it is to get back up. Once you understand failure as an opportunity and purpose as your guiding star, the next step is momentum. Momentum is what turns action into results. Most people fail repeatedly because they stop moving forward after a setback. They lose confidence, procrastinate, and let fear control them. But momentum changes everything. One small step forward creates energy. Another step builds on it. Eventually, that momentum grows until failure no longer has the power to stop you. Here's an example. Consider the story of Sara Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She faced constant rejection from manufacturers who didn't believe in her product. Many would have given up, but she kept moving forward, writing letters, making calls, testing ideas, and refining her product. Each small action built momentum. Eventually, that momentum led her to secure her first deal, and today, she is a self-made billionaire. Her secret: she refused to let failure paralyze her. She kept moving, step by step, even when every door seemed closed. So how can you create unstoppable momentum in your life? Start with small, consistent actions. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Every day, do something that moves you closer to your goal, even if it's tiny. Write one paragraph, make one call, send one application, practice one skill. These small steps compound over time. Failure will still happen, but momentum will keep you moving forward. And here's a key point: celebrate progress, not just results. Most people only acknowledge victories when everything is perfect, but life doesn't work that way. Every effort, every attempt, every lesson learned counts. Celebrate that. It keeps your mind focused on growth, not disappointment. Another real-life example is J.K. Rowling again. She was a struggling single mother, living on welfare, facing rejection from publishers. If she had waited for perfect conditions, she would never have published Harry Potter, but she kept writing, one word at a time, one chapter at a time. That consistency, that momentum, transformed her life and millions of others. Now, let's bring this home with an emotional truth. The people who give up will never know how close they were to success. Your breakthrough might be one step away, one phone call away, one attempt away. That's why giving up is the most dangerous thing of all. Failure is painful, yes, but quitting is permanent. Keep moving, and eventually, the universe rewards persistence, courage, and action. So, right now, I want you to make a decision. Look at your struggles, your fears, and your failures, and tell yourself, I will keep going. I will learn. I will act. I will turn this failure into opportunity. Because this is the truth no one tells you. Life's toughest moments are often the exact moments that define your greatest success. Your failures are your training ground. Your struggles are shaping you. Your setbacks are building your strength. And your persistence, your willingness to act despite fear and doubt, will create the life you've always dreamed of. Remember, every failure has a hidden gift. Every setback is temporary. Every fear is conquerable. And every person who succeeded before you was once where you are right now. The difference is they acted, they learned, they refused to quit, and now it's your turn. Now that you've heard the stories, the lessons, and the truths no one tells you, it's time to connect all the dots. If you're failing in life, here's the ultimate truth. Failure is not punishment, it's preparation. Life doesn't break you for no reason. Every disappointment, every setback, every closed door is molding you, shaping your character, and teaching you skills that comfort never could. Think about Abraham Lincoln. He failed multiple times before becoming one of the greatest presidents in history. He lost elections, faced bankruptcy, endured personal tragedies, and yet he didn't quit. Every failure he experienced didn't define him, it refined him. Every no he faced was building resilience, patience, and wisdom. And that's exactly what your failures are doing right now. They are shaping a stronger, wiser, and more capable version of yourself, even if you can't see it yet. Here's another truth no one tells you. The people who seem to have it all figured out didn't get there without falling countless times. Behind every success story you admire, there's a trail of failures, tears, and hard lessons. Take Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, for example. He was cut from the Canadian Football League, broke, and living on welfare. But he didn't quit. He reinvented himself. He pushed through rejection and setbacks, trained relentlessly. And today, he is one of the most successful actors and entrepreneurs in the world. Every failure became a stepping stone toward his dreams. Your failures can do the same for you if you allow them to. The key is perspective. You can choose to see failure as the end, or you can see it as a lesson, an opportunity, and a call to action. Change your perspective, and you change your life. And here's the emotional part most people ignore. You are not alone. Every person who achieved greatness felt fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Every person who succeeded failed before winning. The difference isn't talent, luck, or privilege, it's persistence. It's the refusal to give up, even when the world seems to be saying no. That's the part no one talks about, the late nights, the long struggles, the moments you question yourself. Those are the moments that define you. Think about your own life for a second. How many times have you stopped yourself from trying because you feared failure? How many dreams have you postponed because it felt too hard? What if I told you that the exact thing you fear, failure, is your path to growth? That the pain you feel today could become your power tomorrow? That the lessons you learn now will shape the victories you'll celebrate later? Here's a practical way to start. Write down every failure that has ever made you feel small. Then beside each one, write the lesson it taught you. Maybe it taught patience. Maybe it taught humility. Maybe it showed you a new direction. When you see your failures in this light, you'll realize that every setback has a purpose, every disappointment has a message, and every closed door can lead to a better opportunity. Now, let's talk about taking action. Inspiration alone won't change your life. Action will. Every successful person acts, even when they don't feel ready. They take small steps, learn, adjust, and keep moving forward. Your job is to do the same. Take one small action today toward your goal. It doesn't matter if it feels imperfect or scary. Momentum begins with a single step. One step today leads to another step tomorrow. And soon, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Here's a real life example of someone you might relate to. Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, didn't have a business background. She faced constant rejection and doubt, but she kept moving forward, learning from every failure, testing every idea, and celebrating every small win. Today, she is a billionaire. Her journey teaches us that failure is not the opposite of success, it's the pathway to it. Every no she received was guiding her to the yes that mattered most. Another important lesson, don't compare your journey to anyone else's. The internet, social media, and even friends can make it seem like everyone else has it all figured out. But you only see their highlights, not their struggles. Your journey is yours. The timing of success doesn't matter. What matters is that you keep moving forward, learning, growing, and believing in yourself. Now, let's make this personal. Look at your life. Are you waiting for the perfect moment to start? Unto and now. Are you letting fear or past failure control your actions? Here's the truth. There is no perfect moment. There is only now. This moment, the choice you make today determines the chapters of your story tomorrow. Don't let fear steal another day of your life. Don't let failure convince you that you're incapable. Use it. Learn from it, act on it, and keep moving forward. Remember Marcus, the young man who struggled with dead-end jobs and repeated failures before starting his business? His life changed the moment he decided to persist. That's what I want for you. The moment you refuse to quit, the moment you see failure as a teacher and a guide, the moment you act despite fear, that's when your story changes. Let's make one thing clear. Failure is not shameful. Quitting is. Every setback, every struggle, every no is an invitation to grow stronger, smarter, and more determined. The person you become after overcoming these challenges is more valuable than any temporary success you could have had without struggle. Struggle builds character. Struggle builds vision. Struggle builds power. So here's the final message I want you to take away. Your failures are not the end. They are your foundation. Every great person you admire has walked this path. Every success story began with setbacks. Every breakthrough is preceded by struggle. You are not alone. You are not defeated. You are being built for something greater. And the most important choice you can make right now is this. Keep going. Keep learning. Keep acting. Keep believing. Your life is not defined by the times you fall. It's defined by the times you rise. Every failure is a chapter in your story, and every action you take is a step toward victory. Today, you can decide to stop fearing failure and start using it. Today, you can decide that your setbacks will fuel your comeback. Today, you can decide that your story will inspire others, just like these stories have inspired you. So take a deep breath, look at your challenges, embrace your failures, take that next step, no matter how small. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Your journey is just beginning, and the world is waiting to see the incredible things you will create from your struggles. Because here's the ultimate truth no one tells you. The people who fail the hardest often rise the highest, and your failures right now could be the foundation of your greatest success tomorrow. Right now, as you sit here hearing this message, I want you to remember one undeniable truth. Your story is far from over, and your failures are not your identity. They are your teachers. Every time life has knocked you down, it has been shaping you, testing your courage, and preparing you for a breakthrough that is waiting just beyond the horizon. The struggles you faced, the rejections you've endured, the dreams that seemed impossible, these are not signs that you're incapable. They are proof that you are being molded for greatness. Look around at the people you admire, those who inspire you. They were once exactly where you are right now, scared, uncertain, and facing obstacles that felt insurmountable. But the difference between them and those who never make it is simple. They acted despite fear. They refused to quit, and they saw their failures as stepping stones instead of walls. You can do the same. Today, you have the chance to shift your mindset, to take control of your narrative, and to turn every disappointment into momentum, every setback into a lesson, and every fear into fuel. Understand this. Nothing worth achieving comes easily. Nothing meaningful is handed to you, and nothing extraordinary can be built without persistence. So stand up, take a deep breath, and make a commitment to yourself. Commit to keep moving forward, even when the world tells you no, even when your heart tells you to stop, and even when the path seems unclear. Take one small action today that aligns with your dreams, no matter how imperfect, no matter how intimidating, because action creates change, momentum, and belief. Surround yourself with people who lift you, seek knowledge that empowers you, and embrace challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. Remember, the power to transform your life has always been inside you. You just need to tap into it, cultivate it, and use it. Your failures, your fears, and your struggles are not your enemies. They are your most valuable tools, shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you ever imagined. The only limit is the one you accept. The world is full of opportunities waiting for those brave enough to pursue them relentlessly. And today, right now, you can decide to take charge of your life, to rise from every setback, and to build a future where your dreams are no longer distant ideas but living realities. Step into that power, own your story, embrace your purpose, move with courage, and know this above all else: you are capable of more than you realize, stronger than your fears, and closer to your breakthrough than you think. Don't wait another day to start. Your life, your legacy, and your greatest victories are waiting for you, and they begin the moment you decide to rise, act, and never look back.